did I get so many bronzers? Hey everyone, thank you for watching today's video. I'm so excited to do. It is going to be ranking all the bronzers in my collection. This is a series I do yearly where I go through my different categories of makeup and I rank all of the products that I currently have in my collection. Bronzers has always been a favorite for this video, so that of course is what we are kicking the series off with, but I hope you are ready for a lot of ranking videos coming from me. If you want to see how I rank these 30 plus bronzers in my collection, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, welcome. So I always start my videos with an outfit of the day. I'm going to step over my dog, but today we just have on slippers, of course, and then I just have on some white shorts. I got these from Target, and then my little blue and white striped top is from Zara. I just finished filming the video all about my 1-year celebration for my brand, which is by Samantha March, so that video should already be up. I will have it linked down below, but I've just celebrated 1 year of launching my brand, where we have planners and goal trackers, the deck of cards, different calendars over there. So that is what is happening now. So I just finished filming that video, so I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, and then I changed my outfit, kind of messed up my hair a little bit, but that's okay. Make sure you check out that video because I am running a 25% off as site-wide right now on bysamanthamarch.com to celebrate the 1 year. We have a fresh new look for the website, and we also have new products that are available now. To do just a little bit of filming on this look, I used the new Sigma loose powder and did a demo for those. Had a little shade matching conundrum happening, so I feel like one eye looks a little bit different than the other eye. And then I did also do one on my lip combo, which is one of the new two of the new products from Rare Beauty, their lip liners and lipsticks. Those are both over on my TikTok, which is by Samantha March. But to get into it, I am unclear. I'm unclear what happened here. I feel like I suddenly have a whole lot of bronzers in my collection, and once I started pulling them all out to put in this little plastic container here, it just was like more and more kept coming, and then I'd go into my bathroom and there was more in there, and I was like, what? And I even opened up like a skincare drawer, and there was another bronzer, and I was like, how did you even get in here? So we have a lot to go through. So how I do this on my channel is usually around summertime I will do a ranking series, and then towards the end of the year we do a declutter, and these ranking videos really help me see what products I can get rid of. They also help me see what products should I put on the chopping block, which products should I put in my project pan video. I'll have an update for those coming soon. What products do I want to give a little bit more attention to see by the time my declutter series rolls around, what's going to stay and what's going to go from my collection. So we have 33 to talk about, and this actually isn't even all of my bronzers. These are just all of my single bronzers, or if they are like a duo or a trio, they are all bronzer and or contour products. But I also will have my like face palettes and face duos where I have a bronzer and a blush, or a bronzer and a highlight. So I own even more bronzers. This is definitely one of my favorite makeup products. It's one of my favorite products to apply when I am doing my makeup. But 33 is a lot of bronzers to have. So let's start off, and we're gonna start off with a little bit of a casualty. So I have here at the bottom, I feel really bad about this, but this is from One Size. Man, I wanted to like this so much. I bought it myself from Sephora, and it wasn't a cheap product, but from One Size, this is the Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio, and I have the medium trio. So I'm super sad because I picked up my container and I started to walk, and this was on the top, and it slid off and fell onto my hardwood, and I was like, any chance that survived? Not really. Chances are not high. I mean, this is not bad, but it bums me out because I really wanted to like it, and you have the 3 different shades, and I thought surely I must be able to make this work, and I had a really positive first impression of it, and then I just couldn't seem to get it to work well. When I do these types of videos, like ranking videos all on a specific category of makeup, all bronzers, all blushes, all eyeshadow palettes, I feel like I get repetitive at times because I'm kind of saying the same things, especially in my likes and dislikes type of category. But for me, when it comes to bronzers, I love something that's just very buildable, blendable, very natural looking on the skin, a bronzer that I can keep applying and it never looks patchy, it never looks like it's too much. And this is one that I just feel like I cannot make smooth on my face. I have tried different brushes, I've tried like trying to go like super light-handed. I don't know what it is, but every time I use this one now, I just feel like it looks very patchy and blotchy, and I cannot make it look natural, and it bums me out. So unfortunately, this was a miss for me. At number 32, I have from Glowish. This is the Huda Beauty line, and this is the Soft Radiant Bronzing Powder, and this is in the shade 02 Medium. It's not like the worst bronzer ever, but it's definitely one of those that I've owned for a while. Like, I think I bought this, was it like last summertime maybe? And I feel like it looks like it's in pretty decent condition because I just barely use it. Something about the swirl in here, I was very excited about it. I really thought that I was going to get on with this product. And again, it's just one of those that I don't feel like it looks very natural on me. It's not necessarily patchy because I kind of went back and forth with this in the one size. It's not that it's necessarily like a patchy bronzer. It's one of those where it's just like, that girl's wearing bronzer. And it's like, you know, obviously I'm not trying to make people think that I'm not wearing makeup. That's not it. I just wanted to look natural, and this to me just doesn't do it. So I'm very displeased. Obviously my dog is super disgusted by it, so you know. Darn. And then at number 31, this is from Colourpop. Again, I don't feel like this is a bad bronzer. This is one of their new matte bronzers, and this is in Summerland Beach. It's just one of those that I got it fairly recently, and I tried it a couple times, and then it's just been kind of sitting there. I definitely have my favorite bronzers towards the top of this, and just bronzers that even if they're not a favorite, I still like to reach for them from time to time. And this is one, like, once I started trying it, I was like, okay, I feel like I got a pretty good handle on this. Like, I'm good to go. It's fine. It's just nothing that's standing out to me. Like, even as I'm sitting here trying to do this review, I'm like, it was fine. It wasn't extremely blendable. It wasn't extremely natural looking on my skin. It wasn't totally terrible. It was just like, okay, you know, Colourpop's a little bit more affordable, but I have affordable bronzers that I'll be sharing in this video too. At number 30, I have from Lawless. This is a bit of a bummer for me because I like Lawless a lot as a brand. They have a few misses for me, of course, like every brand does, but for some reason I just get very sad. I feel like I get personally offended when bronzers don't work for me because I want to love them all so much. But the bronzer, and this is weird because I bought it from Sephora, but it never came with a sticker on the back, and I get it mixed up, like I get the names mixed up with the highlight, but this is one of the bronzers that they have. I feel like maybe it's like the medium bronzer, and I purchased this myself. Again, I like a lot from Lawless Beauty, so when they came out with the bronzers, like I definitely need that. And I feel like I have kept it through so many declutters because I'm like, I like the brand, and like a full face of Lawless Beauty, like that's fun. Like just different things like that. I feel like I'm keeping it for YouTuber reasons, but I don't know. I feel like this should probably go in like a Project Pan style video because I need to decide if I'm really gonna keep it through another round of a declutter when I just don't reach for it a lot. Again, it's just not super smooth. I feel like probably the shade match is not the best for me either. And it's just one that's kind of collecting dust right now. At number 29, I have from The Balm. This is their Bronzilla. I don't know what it is about this. It says bronzer, contour, and shadow. It's a pretty bronzer. I do have a lot of hard pan with it, so you might be able to see like some of my scratches in here because sometimes I deal with hard pan by putting a piece of tape down. Sometimes I deal with hard pan by taking a spoolie from like my eyebrow pencil and giving it a quick little spoolie through. Or sometimes I'll use a cotton pad, different things like that. Looks like the last time I tried to get the hard pan off, I was using a spoolie from my brow pencil. This is such a pretty shade, and I don't know if maybe the hard pan has something to do with it because I feel like almost every time I use it, I'm getting hard pan on it, but it's a really pretty bronzer. But again, it's one of those that I just have like stopped reaching for because I feel like it's almost a little bit more difficult to use, but it was really pretty. Like I remember liking it, and I feel like when I pulled these out, I have a bronzer drawer in this desk that you see behind me. The top drawer is my bronzer drawer because I love bronzers, and like some of these that I'm mentioning right now were pushed all the way in the back, like you can tell, and they were like stacked nicely on top of each other. Like when I was first setting up my desk when I moved here last year, April, and I stacked everything super nicely, like you can see the ones that are like not being touched at all. So that was back there. At number 28, to preface this one, I do have my new bronzers in here as well. Sometimes I don't include new products in rankings. More than likely now I just do, and I let you know that this is a new product, but it's like, it's makeup and it's not that serious. And hopefully if I'm saying like I have these preferences and you have different preferences, you don't buy what I say I like if we have different preferences. You know what I'm saying? Like personal responsibility when it comes to our own consumer habits and everything. But mostly in my last several ranking videos, I've included the new products, just letting you know that these are new, so I don't have my reviews fully fleshed out yet. But at number 28, I put in the one from Haus Labs. So I purchased this fairly recently from Sephora. I was really curious about the Haus Labs rebrand. I thought it looked so much better than the original Haus Labs products that were launching. I was excited that they were at Sephora versus Amazon. And this is one, I tried it in a Get Ready With Me and I was like, okay, it's not super smooth, it's not the most blendable. Again, it looks like I'm wearing bronzer. Not that it was like orange on me, but it wasn't like the best kind of shade match, I would say. And it's one of those that I kind of struggle with reaching for. I brought this with me, I want to say it was that in my New York trip that I went to? Or was it San Diego? One of my trips that I've taken recently, I'm filming this as I leave again tomorrow, but one of my trips that I did, I brought this and I never used it. I brought whatever other bronzer I brought. So I'm just like not hyped to reach for it. At number 27 from Soul Body, this is one of their bronzers. This is the Face and Body Bronzer. This is gigantic. This is the shade Light. Does it tell me how much product is in here? 3 fluid ounces. 3 fluid ounces of bronzer. Now, you are supposed to be able to use this for face and body if you wanted to use it on your legs, on your arms, a little bit of like, not necessarily like a self-tanner action, but a lotion that's gonna give you a little bit of an oomph, maybe, I guess I would say. I mostly have just used it on my face. I'm not a big body makeup person. Every once in a while, I do something like that. Like I bought like the Fenty body sauce and stuff. Most of those products just kind of sit collecting dust in my drawers. But this is a nice product. I feel like from here, a lot of these are like, these are good. These are kind of in like my fine category. With the liquid, like sometimes for me, liquid is not the easiest to use, and I typically will go for something more like a cream. I do like powder products. I feel like cream is kind of my sweet spot, but every once in a while there's a liquid product that really blows me away. I feel like it's fairly simple to use if you are someone who's not exceptionally skilled at makeup like myself. Hey, it's all good. We can just like makeup too. But if you're not exceptionally skilled, especially in something like liquid, this will be fairly easy, but it's definitely not the easiest. And I have another product coming up from Soul Body that I think you'll like a little bit more. And then at 26, I have actually the bronzer that I'm wearing today. This is from LYS Beauty, and this is their cream bronzer stick. I have the shade in Harmony. This is one of those that I like have gone back and forth between, and then I couldn't I feel like I have a hard time making my mind up about this one. And it's a reason why I wore it today, because I was like, I feel like I just need to wear it again so I can have some more thoughts on it. And it's one that I don't reach for all of that often. I will say that I like this more than the powder bronzer that LYS came out with. I think that was the first product I ever tried from the brand, and I ended up decluttering it, and then it took me a while to buy another product. But I believe the next one was the cream bronzer, and I've also purchased the full coverage concealer, which I mentioned in my Best of Beauty 2022 video. So I love that one. This one is kind of like in between. So we have like a fail, a favorite, and a fine from the LYS brand on its own. But this one, I feel like it blends pretty smoothly. Usually with this one, I will pick it up with a sponge versus there's some bronzer sticks that I can apply directly to the face and I can blend it out and it looks super smooth and beautiful. This is not really one of those. I would much rather prefer to pick it up with a brush or a sponge first and then tap it on, and that way it's much more smoother to blend out. Otherwise, I feel like it kind of gets stuck. It can pick up foundation a little bit as well. So it's one of those that I feel like is pretty good. It's not a favorite. I don't reach for it all that much, and it's not that I want to say it's like a forgettable makeup product, but sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I have the LYS bronzer. I could use that. At number 25, I have from Bare Minerals. This is the Endless Summer Bronzer. This is quite pretty. When I first opened it, I thought the shade match would not be so great for me. This is in Faux Tan, but I feel like it blends out nicely. Again, we're in kind of the fine category. It doesn't absolutely knock my socks off. I think that it's pretty. It's not exceptionally on the natural side, but it's fairly easy to work with. This one is more of your matte bronzer in here. Again, I feel like the shade looks a little bit darker than it actually is on the skin, but it's one that I like it. It's decent. And then kind of the same thoughts with this one here from YSL. This is the Bronzing Stones. And it's really beautiful packaging, and this one I feel like looked, when I first got it, I thought maybe it might be a little bit too light for me, especially right now. My body is pretty tan. My body is definitely a lot tanner than my face because I am outside so much. It's you know, in the hundreds nearly every single day here in Las Vegas. But this is still a pretty one that gives a more, like, I want to say it gives a little bit more of that natural bronze to the cheeks without going overboard, but sometimes it's like I need a little bit more. But it's pretty, and it has this nice sheen to it where it's not shiny, it's not glittery. I don't even want to say it's like satiny. It just gives like a little sheen, like a slight, almost like flush to the cheeks. Okay. At 23, we have the most expensive bronzer in my collection. This is from Tom Ford. From Tom Ford, this is the Ultimate Bronzer, and this is in Bronze Age. All right, so here's what this one looks like. This is one of those, like, this is so expensive type of products that I barely use it. Which is not great. Like, I need to use it. Like, if I can carry my Dior bag, which definitely costs more than the Tom Ford bronzer, like, I should be able to wear the Tom Ford bronzer. So we're gonna put this on the makeup bucket list to wear the Tom Ford bronzer more because it deserves it. But it's one of those, again, that even for the really high price tag, it didn't make me like feel faint or anything or like weak in the knees because I love it so much, but it's pretty. This one is definitely more of your glowy bronzer. Shade sometimes can be like a touch dark on me, especially if I go in with a heavy hand, but it's pretty. It's not the most natural, which is, you know, obviously a favorite of mine because I've said that word 47 times now. So hopefully you're not playing a drinking game. Maybe you could play a game with like grapes or like strawberries. Just something healthy, like eat a strawberry every time I say natural. That'll be nice. Oh, 35-year-old Samantha sure is different from 25-year-old Samantha. At number 22, I have from Danessa Myricks. This is the Contour Balm. So again, a little bit more on your contour side versus the bronzer itself. It's just a little bit more cool toned, but I know a lot of people like really are firm about the difference between a contour and a bronzer. It's like, sometimes I just want a little something. I just want like a little something on the cheeks. Like, I'm not too picky about it, okay? But this is the Contour Balm, and I have the shade Light 2. This is pretty. This is pretty for a cream product, which again, sometimes I'm not the most like skilled in. I feel like I've definitely gotten better as my love for cream and liquid products has heightened over the last 2 years or so. It's one of those that when I wear it, again, I don't feel like it makes me look exceptionally better or exceptionally like a bronzed goddess, but it's nice. It's good. It helps define the cheekbones a little bit as a contour balm. Just nothing that absolutely blows me away, but it's good. I do reach for it from time to time. This is, I believe, my newest bronzer in my collection, so wanted to mention that. I've only worn it a handful of times once again. This is from a Colourpop, and this is one of their new Super Shock bronzers. Now, I do have a handful of bronzers since I am on Colourpop's PR. I did get all of the bronzers in. I'm just mentioning the shade I'll Bet. I-S-L-E, I'll Bet. That is the one that I'm mentioning for today because I feel like this is the one that I have found to be the best for me. I have a demo of this one up on my Instagram, or it will be coming on my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word. I have also shown the bronzers in a Get Ready With Me here on YouTube, so you can check those out. But so far, I really like these. Again, I kind of didn't want to rank it any higher just because it is new, but I'm really leaning on the I think that I'm really going to like these. I like the Super Shock formula. I like the Super Shock blushes. I like the Super Shock highlighters. And the bronzers seem to be fitting really well into that category. They're very easy to use. They're easy to apply. And they seem to have a decent wear time so far. At number 20, I have from e.l.f. Cosmetics. And this is their Forever Sunkissed bronzer. This is a nice affordable one. But I have to say, I have not reached for this in a hot second. When I pulled it out, I was like, why have I not used this e.l.f.? Because this is a really pretty bronzer. Definitely one of those that I want to get some more use out of, and especially with it being so affordable, like I think that's fantastic. It is more of a matte bronzer. I feel like I've gone a little bit more on the glowy side, especially as I've gotten into cream and liquids, because sometimes it just helps give you more of that dewy look. My skin definitely changed from very oily when I was in fertility treatments and all of that, and then it got extremely dry after I was off treatments and moved to the desert climate. So I feel like maybe that's also part of the reason why I was getting more into the glowy makeup, because then it was like, wait, now I want to try to combat my dry skin and do something different. So I feel like maybe it being a matte bronzer kind of plays into it a little bit, but it's a great affordable option. At number 19 from Persona Cosmetics, this is their bronzer stick, and I have the shade Dune. This is quite pretty. It's just one of those that I kind of forget about once again. Like I forget to reach for it, but every time that I do and I wear it, I'm like, oh, that's a nice bronzer. This is one of those I can apply directly to the cheeks. It blends out super smoothly. I would say I kind of have to build up a little bit with this one. You know, sometimes there's bronzers where I can just kind of quickly go in, but it not that it like fades as I blend it, but I just feel like I need to build it up a few times. But I think this is a nice bronzer. I really like Persona Cosmetics as a brand. I get excited when they come out with new releases, and the bronzer stick's a good one. At number 18 from Iconic London, this is their Sheer Bronze Bronzer, and I have the shade Caramel Glow. Grabbed it from Sephora, and at first I was kind of afraid of the sheer glow because I was like, I don't want a sheer bronzer. Like, I want a bronzer on, okay? Like, I'm not trying to like have it be sheer. But I get what it's saying because, again, just like with the Persona, I kind of put these by each other because I feel like with both, you do have to build it up. This one gives a little bit more of a glow, like it's more of a glowy bronzer than the Persona is more of a matte bronzer. And again, right now, I'm more into the glow. 2 months from now, that could be totally different, but I'm more into the glow right now, so that's why I like the Iconic London just a little bit more. I do find it fairly easy to work with also for being a liquid bronzer and me not always being the best with them. I usually just take a damn sponge to apply this, and once I build it up a few times, it doesn't like pull my foundation off or anything like that. I find that I like it. Not the longest wearing, but it's pretty. At number 17, if you were with me last year, you know the roller coaster we went through with this one. This is from Makeup by Mario, and this is the contour stick in light medium. Okay, so we have the brush on the one side, which I always pull off that cap first, and that brush is useless. Don't recommend it. Wish that wasn't even on there. And then we do have the bronzer stick. The first time I used it and I was trying to use the brush, it was so bad. It was so patchy. The thumbnail is like, I still get comments about the thumbnail. Like, people were howling at my experience with this. And I love to show those types of videos because, like I said, like, I do not strive to show perfection at all. I feel like it's good to show, I don't even know if I want to say like makeup mistakes, but especially as someone who makeup doesn't come naturally to, I think it's important to kind of show like what goes through my brain when I'm trying something and I'm like, how can I make this work? And this one was just all bad, and I was loving that people were loving that video and I could like make people laugh because I was having such a hard time. Use this with a damn sponge and it's so much better. I would also recommend to pick up directly from the product and not to apply it because it is pretty quick drying, so then that's when it turns into really hard to blend on the cheeks. But once I figured out the best way to use it, it's actually a very pretty product and I reach for it a lot more these days. It took me a second. Took me a second to figure that one out. At number 16 from Milk Makeup, this is their Bionic Bronzer. All right, I was a little bit nervous to purchase this one because I also purchased the Bionic Blush from Milk Makeup and I didn't really like it, and then they came out with the bronzer and I was like, I'll buy it anyways. Like, that's my relationship with bronzers. And I have to say, I like it a lot more than the blush. I thought it was a lot easier to use. Again, this is a liquid product, so I was very nervous about it. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go. But this one reminds me a little bit of the Iconic London Sheer Bronzer, except it has more oomph to it, but I feel like it looks really similar. Like, if I build up the Iconic London 3 times, I feel like I get what I can get with the Milk Makeup in one pass. So I like that. It's, you know, it's a small little tube here that you get, but you need a very small amount of product. It's gonna build up great, and I think it looks nice on the skin. At 15 and 14, I have a 2 here from Charlotte Tilbury. I find these, not that they're totally similar to one another, but I kind of have the same thoughts on them, so I thought that I would put them next to each other. At 15, I did have the powder bronzer, and at 14, I had the cream. So the powder bronzer did come out first. I purchased both of these myself. They were $55, so quite expensive. But this one here is the Airbrush Bronzer, and I have the shade Medium. It's a very pretty bronzer. It's one that I do have to build up a little bit, especially right now with how tan I am. I definitely have to keep building this one up, but it's very pretty. It's very smooth. It's just not one of those that I completely lost my socks over and felt like that was really worth the $55 purchase. I do like the new bronzer that just released recently. This is the Beautiful Skin Sunkissed Glow Bronzer. Again, this was $55. I think I got like 20% off on the website or something like that. I think there was some sort of code going on. I like the cream a little bit more. I will say I have the shade Medium in both, and I definitely feel like the cream bronzer is a little bit darker in the pan and a little bit darker when you do put it on the skin. I don't feel like these are an exact match to one another, but both are really big compacts. I believe both are refillable. They have the mirrors on here. Again, I think the cream bronzer just better suits me a little. It's a little bit easier to apply. I don't feel like I have to build it up quite as much as the powder, and I think that it has a decent wear time to it, but neither one really blew me away for that very high price tag for a bronzer. At number 13, one of the OGs, I think this was my first ever cream bronzer, and I was like terrified to buy it, but everyone on YouTube was like, you must buy this. So obviously I did what everyone was telling me to do, and I bought the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Baked. This is one that is on its farewell tour. I feel like it's starting to smell a little funky. I'm getting a little bit nervous to use this one. So this is probably one that you're gonna, spoiler alert, you're gonna see in my declutter video in the next coming months here, because I've had this for a long time. I think I bought this during the red wall days, or maybe when I was like just finally painting the red walls. I've had this for a while. It's probably time to go, but this was like my original favorite cream bronzer. I totally understood why everyone was hyping this up years ago, and even for me, very much a novice back then. Not that I'm like totally improved now, but definitely back then as such a novice when it came to cream products, I was like, I can do this. It was like, look, Ma, no hands. Except I did use my hands because I was applying a bronzer. Maybe not the best analogy there, but I really got on with that one. I'm kind of sad that I'm gonna be saying goodbye to it soon. At number 12, I have from Dior. This is their Forever Natural Bronze, and I have the shade Warm Bronze. This one was pretty expensive. I believe it was like $45 for this one. This is one that I really do like, and you know, obviously it's coming in a little bit higher here. We're almost to the top 10 bronzers out of all of these in my collection. I think it's one though that I wish I would like even a little bit more, because it's Dior. I like so many of their complexion products. I like a lot of their cheek products, but it's still a good one. It's just, it's definitely a little bit more of a higher price tag, and it's still one that I reach for quite a bit. I like the packaging on it. I like that it looks a little bit nicer. I do get some hard pan issues with this one. So again, usually with this, I've just taken a cotton pad and tried to be a little bit nicer to this one, since it was a little bit pricier, but it's one of those that does look like it's called the natural bronze, and I feel like it looks very natural, and that's a reason why I enjoy this one so much. I do build it up a little bit, so I didn't want to place it any higher than this, because I have some that I feel like are just so easy and quick to use, but for me that's still a beautiful one if you're looking for a little splurge. At number 11, we have from Jouer. This is their bronzer duo. Yes, their light to medium duo. I think it was just called their bronzer duo, right? So this is what it looks like. You can see I have a very big pan on this side, which I'm very proud of. I have a pretty large collection. I review a lot of products. I try a lot of new products, so it's pretty hard for me to pan things, and when I do, I get pretty darn excited because, like you can see, I have a lot of bronzers. So knowing that I'm actually going through products and using them up makes me feel very happy. But you have the two different shades on here. This one is pretty light for me right now, but it was still beautiful. I don't reach for it quite as much these days, but I mean, we definitely had some fun times together, that's for sure. We are getting into the top 10. At number 10, I have from Makeup by Mario. This is one of the newer products. This is the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer, and this is in the shade Medium. I think that this is a really beautiful product. I feel like when he came out with the Perfector and the Enhancer, Makeup by Mario did a great job of trying to sound very like innovative and unique in the product descriptions, and how this is called like a skin enhancer, and it was like a all over complexion balm. To me, it's a cream bronzer. You can use it however you see fit, but how I see fit is as a cream bronzer, so that's why I'm including it in this video, and that is how I use this product. But I usually just use this with a damp sponge. I think it looks very natural. It's very easy to blend. It's one of those, just the ease of use is there, and that's definitely what I look for in makeup products. I think it's really pretty. I think it's a great name. Like, it just enhances your bronze. Just like, it's one of those that's like, is she wearing bronzer or is she wearing an enhancer? You'll never know. At number 9, from Patrick Ta, this is the She's Sculpted Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. So this one I really do like. You have the cream contour here and then the powder bronzer. I actually like the cream contour just a little bit more. I think that it's very easy to use, but the powder bronzer is still very pretty. I think the shade match is maybe not the absolute best for me. So sometimes I'm just reaching in for the cream contour and then maybe going with a different powder product, or sometimes even just using that. The packaging on this is really beautiful. This was a more expensive product, but it's one that I keep reaching for quite a bit. At number 8, a little bit of a newer product, and I have this one featured in my Best of Beauty. This is from Sigma, and this is their matte bronzer, and I use the shade Medium. I really like this bronzer because it's so smooth and it's very natural looking. Eat those grapes, all right. Smooth, very natural looking, very easy to build up. It's never too much when I put it on, and I was just very impressed with these. A little bit newer launch from Sigma Beauty. I'm an affiliate with them. My code is Samantha. Like I said, I included it in my Best of Beauty video as well. At number 7, I mentioned I had another one from Soul Body coming, and this product continues to impress me. I know a lot of people enjoy this. I think it went viral on TikTok or something like that. But this is the Face and Body Bronzing Balm. I find this so much easier to use than the liquid. I find it just looks so much better than the liquid bronzer. This is really the one that I would recommend. I know that it sells out from time to time just because people continue to love it. It has that nice like coconutty, makes me smell like a pina colada, I'm on vacation type of vibes, which I love, but it's so easy to use. Again, I mostly just use a damp sponge, super natural. I hate when I say that because I think of the show. Very natural on the skin, very easy to use, easy to build up. If you haven't gotten your hands on this one yet, like it is not a new product by any means, but I still reach for it so often. At number 6, we have the latest bronzer that I have hit pan in. I was so proud of this. This is another OG. This is from Becca Cosmetics, and this is in Capri Coast. So we got a little pan action happening down there. I mean, I have owned this bronzer for many, many moons, probably the Red Wall days, which means that's like, I started in 2015. I didn't think I painted my office till like 2017 or 2018 or something like that. So we have had this bronzer for a long time. There was a point where Becca Cosmetics was all the rage. I still am quite shocked that the brand did close down, and I was sad because this Capri Coast bronzer is super beautiful. So I continue to use it. It gives this really nice glowy look to the cheeks. I take it on vacation with me. You know, I can't link it, and so sometimes when I'm wearing products and people want to replicate what I have or use what I have, I feel a little bit bad because it's a product that you can't get anymore. So a lot of times I bring it like on my trips with me when I'm not going to be doing any sort of filming, but it's still a beautiful bronzer. And then we are getting into the top 5. And at number 5, I wanted to mention my own collab. And typically in my ranking videos, I don't mention my own collaborations that I have just because it feels weird, and I want to put them all in like the top spots because I love them so much, but then I feel weird about doing that. So I was trying really hard to be, but I have my bronzer duo in River, and this is with Ofra Cosmetics. So I still continue to love this bronzer. This is one of my, I have multiples of all of my products, and I have ones that I use a ton and it's very messy and gross and disgusting. This is supposed to be my nice one, but even still, sometimes I just have it sitting out and I still use it, and I'm like, don't use your nice one. But you know, it's fine. I feel like we can still make this work without me having to crack open another bronzer. But I really like this one because you have matte on one side and you have the shimmer on the other, and I just think that it's beautiful and I love it. And I love that you can kind of mix and match the different shades, and I was really proud of this one. I named it River because I grew up on the Mississippi River back in Iowa, and I have, you know, a bunch of great memories of being on the river and with my brother and fishing and boating. And anytime that I would go back to my hometown when I was still living in Iowa, I would always make a point to walk along the river, unless we were visiting in the winter and it was, you know, below 0. But I love walking by the river. I find the water so peaceful and calming. So I named this one River as a nod to my childhood and growing up and those good memories. And the bronzer is still available. All my collaborations with Ofra is still available. My discount code is Samantha if there's anything you're interested in checking out. There's a blush duo, I have highlighters, and I also have an eyeshadow palette with a bronzer, blush, and highlight in there, and lip products available as well. At number 4, an oldie but a goodie, the Marc Jacobs Omega Tantastic. This is one that I keep thinking I'm gonna pan it because I hear so many people say that they go through this so quickly. People saying like it's very actually thin, so when you even start to get down to it, like it breaks so quickly. I'm like, y'all, I have had this for so many years, and it's definitely one of those, like, this was one of my first big ticket bronzer purchases. It was like $49. I was super nervous to do it, but so many people recommended it, and again, people are telling me to buy it, so I was like, obviously I have to go do it. So I did, and I love it, and it's beautiful, but I feel like we're still unclear of what's actually going on with the Marc Jacobs brand. There was talk about them closing down, then there was talks about them just rebranding. Like at one point they brought Nikki Tutorials on as like a brand ambassador, and then we still don't really know. So I believe that this one is still sold out. Every once in a while it would like pop up on the Marc Jacobs website and then it would disappear again, and I don't really quite understand. But one day I'm gonna pan this, okay? This is still bucket list. I will pan the Marc Jacobs bronzer. And number 3, another affordable option, and this is another one I mentioned in my Best of Beauty for the year. This is from L'Oreal. This is their Infallible 24-Hour Freshware Bronzer. I have the shade 300 Light Medium. I purchased mine from Amazon because I could not find this in store, and people were starting to rave about it. I was getting so many requests to talk about this bronzer and to try it out. So I finally just ordered it on Amazon, and I really, really love this. This actually reminds me a lot of the Marc Jacobs, but it's more affordable and it's easily accessible. So I think that's fantastic. So I wanted to give it a little nod over the Marc Jacobs. For me, I don't think they are the exact same in shade. I think the L'Oreal is a little bit on the warmer side, a little bit on the deeper side as well, where the Marc Jacobs is a little bit more neutral, a little bit lighter. But the formula to me seems so similar to one another, so smooth, so natural, so blendable. Eat those grapes, get that fruit in. I just think that it's beautiful. So definitely recommend it, and a little bit of a cheaper price tag, because now we're gonna switch to something that's not quite so cheap. And this is from my girl, Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Hollywood Contour Wand. This was my original liquid bronzer that I fell in love with, and I was shocked. The bronzer and the highlight wand were the two like liquid products that I was trying, and I believe I tried them in, I want to say it was a trying new makeup years ago on my channel, and I was so surprised because I was like, this is definitely going to be a fail one. I'm already thinking of what like my clown thumbnail is going to be looking like, and these are so easy to use. Again, if you're newer to makeup, if you're a little bit more intimidated, or if you've been wanting to get into high-end but you're like, what is actually really worth the price tag? These wands from Charlotte Tilbury, they had YouTube abuzz for years. Now TikTok is like repeating everything that we've done on YouTube all these past years, so they've gone viral on TikTok multiple times over, which is like hysterical to me, but people love them over there. It's just, they're so easy to use, and there's just like something special about them. The Charlotte products, especially like the contour wand, the highlight wand, the blush wand, it's like your skin but better. It's like you but with a little bit of a boost, but it's so natural looking. It is kind of like, is she? These I highly recommend. I would say that they are worth the price in my opinion. If you've been around for my channel for a while and you're like, bronzer, okay, I knew she had that one, I knew she had that one. Wait, when was she going to mention the Rare Beauty bronzer stick? Oh, I was gonna mention in the top spot. I love this bronzer. This is like my most used bronzer, my most worn bronzer every single time that I've traveled, which has been quite a bit in 2022, which is so amazing. The bronzer stick is always coming with me. It's easy to transport, and it's just beautiful. This is just the easiest cream bronzer to use. I know that this sells out all of the time. I mentioned this in my Best of Beauty 2022. It was sold out when I tried to link it in that video, so it's probably still gonna be sold out in this video. But if you ever see it come back, or if you're in Sephora and you happen to see it available in your shade, go get it. My shade is Power Boost. This is one I can apply directly to my face. I could blend this out with my fingers if I wanted to. That is how easy and smooth and natural, and just the ease of use. Everything about this bronzer is what I love. It's fabulous. I feel like I don't even need to say that much on it, because I feel like it speaks for itself that it's sold out so much, and I've talked it to death on my channel, and I just mentioned it in that 2022 video. But honestly, it's phenomenal. I love it. I think it's great. I hope you can get your hands on it as well. After that, that is ranking. This video has been in the works for a while, because I knew it was going to be a bit of a beast, but that is ranking all 33 single bronzers that I currently have in my collection. I will have all of these linked down below if there's any that you're interested in. What are your favorites from what I've mentioned? What did I not mention that you're like, girl, have you not tried that? Do you still need to try that? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know your recommendations, of course. But as always, if you enjoyed this one and you're excited for more ranking videos, make sure to give this one a thumbs up. Let me know what category you want to see next, of course. Subscribe before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.